Right, Thursday night we went down 4-1 at home to Sparta Prague. Today it was the same scoreline. Thankfully, it was in Celtic's favour. Motherwell 1, Celtic 4. The gap at the top of the Premiership has been cut to 6 points. I'm Hamish Carton, live on 67 Hail Hail. Thanks for tuning in. Last minute substitution. John McGinley has gone out. David Walton has come in. He's done his warm up on the sideline and he's ready to get into it.
He's just having me on, Hamish. Looking forward to getting into this one.
Right, let's do just that and get into it. We obviously went into today's game with a hell of a lot of pressure on us. A must-win game, it was fair to say. And we did that in the end. We got a 4-1 victory. It looked comfortable in the end. It probably was pretty comfortable, although when it did go to 2-1, it was a wee bit nervy at that stage. But I suppose taking it and confining it just to today, David, a positive afternoon for the team.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought they played well today, must admit. Not going to overgloss it because of how we've been recently, but it was a good win. If this was any other moment in their season, we'd be saying great performance. All right, there's a couple of things that's maybe still concerned. I think we're losing too many aerial duels in our own box. Led to pretty much all of Motherwell's chances today. Other than that, I thought it was good. I thought Brown was fantastic. He responded really well to the criticism. I thought he'd seen that from the moment he went into the huddle. He was really had fire in his belly today. The performance itself overall was just very accomplished. I thought we dominated the game. I think Motherwell's goal flatters them. In recent weeks we maybe would have conceded that second goal and drawn the game. So it was good to see a bit of character for a change, and I thought the goals were really good play as well. I don't think any of them were really fortuitous or anything like that. I thought we played really well and cut them open as much as I would have hoped. So yeah, listen, it's a step in the right direction. We knew we couldn't lose more ground in the league today, and at the very least we won't be doing that. So it's a good one, very eye pleasing.
I must say I was very concerned going into this game, just the way Thursday had gone and the way we'd played recently, going to a team like Motherwell, who I think I'm right in saying had won 4 of the last 5 Premiership games. I think they'd kept clean sheets in all of them apart from the game against Rangers. So going to Fir Park for me was going to be a tough one today, and I'm glad we've won that, and we can tick that one off until next time.
I don't think Motherwell were as good as some of their recent results have suggested, me, I must admit. And their recent record against Celtic and Rangers is dreadful. So I wasn't overly surprised when we went 1-0 up so early. Thought it'd be a tricky enough game, but I didn't actually think we'd drop any points here. I don't think Motherwell really have it in them. But we had to go out and do a job. It was convincing as well. That was probably a plus today, the result being convincing. I think we were all just looking for a result, just trying to get the points on the board and try and eke some wins out. But, the manner in which it was done was probably a relief for the manager. But it was great for us to see. I think it was a good win. And it's just disappointing having an international break, because I'd really like us to go to Easter Road next week and try and build on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty kind of miserable time for an international break, and it's been a pretty miserable wee chunk since the last international break. 7 games, I think we've won 2 of them. Obviously only one of them in the league as well, so disappointing, but positive today. Tom Rogic, Mohamed Elyounoussi, probably the 2 stars of the show, although there may be a few other players we want to touch on in a minute. Before I do that, going to just bring in some of the comments. Thanks very much for tuning in and responding to the video, by the way. DR saying, well played lads, looked a lot more focused, although Motherwell were pretty awful to be honest. Mazhar Yusuf, Elyounoussi on fire today, as was King Rogic. Great 4-1 win, however, if Motherwell had a wee bit more quality up top, they could have got more goals. As much as I'm on a high after that win, can we talk about the officiating? 2 clear red cards right in front of the referee. He begrudgingly gave 2 yellows. Embarrassing. Anyway, onwards and upwards now. Celtic. Chris McDonald were obviously better with Guffey Duffy, is what Chris has referred to him as. DR also commenting that we're much better without Duffy. Shane Duffy obviously did come on late on. I don't want to touch on him at all in this video because he didn't play. He was kind of irrelevant to the match today, and we'll see what happens with him in future. Star man who's going to get all of the headlines, Mohamed Elyounoussi, scores a really good hat-trick. He was in my fantasy team as well, so I was delighted with that. And I suppose the big positive for Elyounoussi is that he's really adding goals to his game. Like, he must have scored pretty much all of the goals that we've scored over the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks. He's probably got about 7 or 8 in that time.
And you know what? I was I was one of the ones in the first couple of months thinking to myself, what is this guy offering this season? He's been really poor. Actually, look at his numbers now in terms of goals and assists, and he's kind of blown out the park. He's playing really well. The goals he scored today, I thought, were exceptionally well taken, and especially that third one. What the header that was! He's one of the first names in the team sheet. All of a sudden, you can't question his inclusion in the team anymore. He's really stepping up when not many others are. But you're right to highlight some of the other guys. It wasn't just Elyounoussi today. Tom Rogic, he's given us such a threat in that central area, which I don't think we had before he came into the team. I thought we were overly reliant on our wingers or our wing backs at the time, and Lachart and Frimpong. I think we're starting to see more creativity in that central area. I think it's great to see, because that's what we're all about under Brendan Rodgers. So yeah, Rogic was good. Just try to think some of the other names that I thought were impressive. I thought Ayer had a good game today.
Lachart was good again, wasn't he?
Yeah, just saying that there, Lachart. Thought Christie was quite poor, if I'm being honest. I know one of the supporters there were talking about Shane Duffy. I don't think Near Beaton covered himself in glory this afternoon, and I'm a big Beaton fan. I really like what he brings to the table when he's on his game, but he was probably the main guilty party when it came to getting beat too easily in our own box with cross balls. For a guy at his height, the amount of balls he was losing in the air was a bit of a concern. But I don't think that's something that's too common in Beaton's game. I think he's played really well at centre half for us in recent weeks. So hopefully that was just a one-off. But I won't focus on that too much. I think there were plenty more positives today than negatives, and we're crying out for some of them, to be honest.
Yeah, Tom Rogic was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, especially in the first half. That run he had from the Motherwell corner, where I think he started in his own box, and his first touch, he kind of flicked it around the player, and at that point, I was up off the couch. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then he skips past the next player like he wasn't there. He's deceivingly quick, Tom Rogic, and see when he's in full flow, he is just a joy to watch. And then the thing is, when he gets into that dangerous area, you knew he was going to pick out the perfect pass. He finds a great pass to Christie, who cuts in and balloons it over the bar when he should really score. But that moment, that was probably the first moment in a good while. The first kind of individual piece of brilliance in a good while in a domestic match when I've kind of stood up and gone, wow, that was brilliant. And it was great to see that. And Tom Rogic was an absolute joy to watch today. And when he's playing like that, he should be an absolute stick-on to start pretty much every single game for us, in my opinion.
All we can do is sit and pray that he actually stays fit. We've been here talking about Rogic, maybe not with each other, but probably individually so often in the past, about getting him into this team consistently, and then he goes and picks up another knee injury or another ankle knock, and he's out for another few months. It's the only thing that's really held him back here for becoming a real proper superstar on a consistent basis. Hopefully we can get a good run out of him now. He looks good. Still think whenever you see him go to ground, you've still got your heart in your mouth a wee bit, but he looks fit, he looks in good form, he's lasting the majority of these games as well, and he was just electric today. I also thought Ajeti played well. I know he didn't go on the sheet, but I thought he
made the first goal.
Yeah, his link up play in around the box, awareness for that first goal was brilliant. I really like his fire. He's that can maybe be described as a negative in a sense. When he's coming off, he looks raging. He's maybe saying to the manager, "What am I coming off for?" But he's not channeling that negatively on the pitch. He's not greedy when he gets on the ball. He's not shooting when he should be passing. I think he's channeling it well. So I like to see a bit of fight in the players like that. Even when we were 3-0, I think at half time he was going off. Wasn't he happy at Mohamed Elyounoussi for something?
There was one in the second half as well when someone played a ball through and both Elyounoussi and Ajeti both made the same run and it went through to the goalkeeper in the end. And I noticed the camera kind of moved away, but I noticed Ajeti was giving Elyounoussi a mouthful for something. It was probably him making the exact same run. But I think those two have a really good relationship because obviously they played together at Ball.
He's doing that when you're 2-0, 3-1 up and things like that. That's good to see, I think. as long as it doesn't, go over the line a wee bit. But he's not showing any signs of that. So he played well today, and we can just take this result and be a bit more upbeat about things, ever so slightly, because I thought Thursday night was absolutely horrendous in every aspect. So we won't get carried away because we went to Fir Park and dismantled a team that I don't actually think is very good. So we'll take it. We'll see how we perform at Easter Road after the international break, and fingers crossed it's a better international break than we had last time.
It would do a lot for it to be any worse, wouldn't it? I mean, what would actually have to happen for it to be any worse?
I mean, it was incredible. Everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. We just need players to come back healthy, fit and healthy, try and build on this. I don't know everyone who's going. I know Ajetti's staying back actually.
Yeah, he's been dropped. Yeah.
So it's a joke. This is still going on, but that's for another video, I suppose. All we can do is hope they come back fit and try and build on this at Hibs, which has been a notoriously tough ground for us in recent years.
Yeah, huge game that Hibs won. We'll obviously preview that in depth on the channel in the coming days and weeks. There's something I want to raise with you in a wee second. Before I do that, I'm just going to read out a few more comments we've got in. They are absolutely flying in, so apologies if I don't get round to your comment, because I kind of have to moderate them before I put them on screen as well, so it's a bit of a thankless task at times. Ivor Owens saying, even with defensive mistakes, we have plenty talent in the team to win games. Get off Duffy's back, I think that's meant to be. Kieran Murphy didn't think the second half was good, thought they were sloppy and tempo dropped, but good win, 3 points. Balls going into the back post caused us a bit of trouble, and another goal conceded from set piece Rogic, and then loads of that emojis, which I think kind of sums up all our feelings for Tom Rogic at the moment. MMP Laxalt just gives us all, think he looks like he'd run in front of a train to get the ball. I wouldn't say that'd be a good idea. I wouldn't encourage you to do that, but Laxalt probably would. He's a guy who gives us all. He had a couple of really good defensive challenges in the second half. One that was eventually called offside, but it was a brilliant challenge, I think, on the guy Lang. So he looks a real, he looks a real good defender as well as an attacker. Final comment, Autumn Glow, in the very first minute, Laxalt was marauding forward like a madman, offering the entire left side to Motherwell for counter-attack. Love Laxalt, but any half-decent team would pick us off there. Interesting point as well. Right, the thing I wanted to raise with you, there seems to be a narrative among the Celtic support that the attack is doing their job, and pretty much, maybe not all our failings, but certainly the vast majority of the team's failings rest on the defence. Duffy was out today, and I would argue it maybe got marginally better, although we still didn't look convincing at certain points. Do you feel that once we sort the defence, maybe when Julian comes back, maybe when Barkas comes back, things will fall into place, or do you think there's still issues going forward as well?
I'd love to say yes, but I mean, we signed another centre-back because Julian was playing poorly. It's not all with one area of the team, I don't think. For example, if Duffy makes the mistakes that Beaton did today, I think he's crucified for it. Absolutely crucified. So go back to Thursday night against Sparta Prague, the attack was dreadful. Barely laid a glove on them, and that was, by all accounts, almost their reserves. I think there's more problems than just a couple of defensive lapses.
But sorry to interrupt, but you see them today and you see how well Elyounoussi plays and Rogic, and it was the same at Hampden last week, and you've got Christie, who admittedly was better last week than this week, and you've got Edouard as well. But why aren't they like a threat every single game then? Why on Thursday night were they not a threat? Is it just better defences?
I mean, as well as that, they're not robots, I mean, we are a very demanding support. We want to win every single game. I do think Thursday night we should have been a lot better, but I don't think you can say that the problems just rest at the back, or when the attack lights up, it's always the defence that's letting us down. I think that's harsh, and
I agree.
We have so much quality going forward, but Mohamed Elyounoussi, for all his recent good form, was really poor at the start of the season, and he was really poor when he came back for certain spells last season as well. it's difficult. As I say, Lennon will know more than me what the problems are with this Celtic squad. He'll know more than me, he'll know more than you, and he'll know more than anyone watching the video today. All we can do is hope that he manages to find the solution, because ultimately the buck stops with him. But I think you've seen him change shape so often now that I don't think he believes it's one certain area of the team. I think that shows he believes there's problems throughout. And, you just look at the underperformers, Hamish, in recent weeks. Look, you've got the likes of Brown who's been underperformed. McGregor's been criticised. That's a central midfield now we're talking about. So it's more than just the back line. It's more than just the attack. What is it? I don't know. The manager will have to find that out.
It's just something that struck me. How can you go for being so good against Leo, admittedly for only a half, ditto against Aberdeen, then so bad against Sparta Prague, and then so good again attacking wise today? It's just the kind of thing that would have you pulling your hair out. But I guess we won today. The gap's been close to 6, and we just need to keep moving on. It's very much just keep winning at the moment, or do our best to win games. Hibs is going to be a massive game. If we win that, then I think the fixtures should start to become a little bit less daunting, or a little bit less challenging between now and the end of the year. Yes, we still have to go to Ibrox. We've got Livingston away on the horizon as well. But if we take every game at a time, things can change quickly in football. We've found that out. I personally still don't think that Neil Lennon is the right man to turn this around. I'm sorry if that sounds, really negative after a 4-1 win. I just think too much has gone wrong already this season to say that one victory over Motherwell, however stylish, means that, everything's rosy in the garden. But I also concede that if Neil Lennon keeps winning games after the international break, and we go Easter Road and we win, and we finish our Europa League campaign in a decent manner, we're not going to qualify, but if we win maybe 1 or 2 of those last 3 games, then I'll admit that Lennon can bring things back. But for me, speaking right now, today hasn't changed a great deal. What about you?
In regards to whether Lennon should keep his job?
Just in terms of his overall kind of job security, where do you think he stands now? I mean, they're not going to sack him over the international break after a 4-1 win.
I tend not to discuss it too much because you just know the Celtic board won't get rid of him. There's too many good relationships there. But I think Lennon should be taking this on a match-by-match basis. He's by no means out of the woods after today. He's got some big challenges coming up. The support, I think most of the support are against Lennon as manager now. Always used to be that it was a minority. It was a minority that was against him. And it probably was for quite a period of time. Now I think that's changed. I think there's a pretty vocal majority that want to change. I don't think today is really the time to discuss that too much. Try to focus on the positives when I can in a season as important as this. If you're asking me whether I think Lennon should keep his job, I just don't know. I'm so split. I can't tell in my mind whether it's anxiety for this season that would push me to believe that he should lose his job. The importance of this season is so much greater than any other one over the last 20 odd years. So try to be pretty laid back about it. Try to calm down, analyse everything. I think performances have been a concern, but I still think he has got some time. Don't think he's got many bad results left in his locker to produce, especially after how dismal Thursday night was. But I think he maybe deserves just a little bit more time, just ever so slightly.
Got about like 20 minutes or something like that.
What?
20 minutes or something like that.
Well, see, I defeat Easter Road, and then you really start asking questions. But we don't want to even think of that just now.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get. We know Celtic can get a run of 10, 11 wins in the trot. They've done it so often in the past, and if he can get a run like that under his belt, things will calm down. Europe's just the icing on the cake this year. So we need to try and perform domestically, try and get some consistency, and hopefully over the Christmas period, some big matches coming up, he can do that. We have to remember, when you look at Rangers' lead at the top of the table, I'm looking at it as 3 points, no 9, no 6, any of that nonsense. They've had some games that they've played extra, so I'm looking at it as 3 points. That's a win at Ibrox, So here's hoping. All we can do is hope, mate, because the board will not sack Lennon anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think that whatever the case is, we're with Lennon now for the foreseeable. Unless things go, belly up over the next wee period, which they could, I think Neil Lennon's going to be in charge for the next wee while. Scotty, the Motherwell fan, hello, thanks for tuning in. What else have we got? Autumn, thanks for the comment. Kieran, yes, I agree, they are quiet today, and you know who I'm talking about. There's not as many of them hijacking the stream. Just Jordan. Can clearly see we are still very weak at the back. Another goal conceded from a set piece. We need to go run now if Lennon wants to turn it around and get the fans back on his side. We definitely, as you just said, we need to go. That's basically the point you just made. We need to go on a run. There can't be any of this, play good one game, drop points at Easter Road, then win it, whatever. We need to go on. I'm talking about the league here. Forget the Europa League, because that's over. It matters, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. We need to win league game after league game, and we probably can't afford many drop points before Ibrox, to be honest, if any. Like, that's the kind of critical state we're in. And for me, that would be another argument. As much as I think Lennon's not the right guy, if you were to get rid of Lennon and get a new manager in, you're asking a lot of that new manager. He has got so little margin for error when coming in. It's a tricky position we're in, and even though we've won 4-0 at Motherwell today, we're not out of the woods yet. There's still a long way to go. Final comment, David, fire away. You can talk about anything you want, mate.
Just looking forward to after the international break, mate. That's all I can really say. It's been a grim period since the last one. It really has. A couple of good results in there, but the majority of it's been, full of negative results, negative performances, negative reaction. So hopefully we have some better luck across the course of November and the Christmas period, because we bloody well need it, man. If we don't get a good head of steam going up after this international break, it's crisis point. So that's the message Len needs to convey to the players, and today was a decent response.
Definitely. Reminder that I did a video prior to this chunk of fixtures, the 7 games, and I think I had us winning 5 of them.
I remember that. After every single result, I was thinking back to that video going,
Rangers, tick. AC Milan, tick. Lille, I think I had us drawing in Lille. I had us losing in Lille. So I think I got everyone wrong apart from today. So, hey-ho, the Oracle, he sits right here. Will I be back before the next round of games, looking at the next 7 fixtures and predicting all Celtic wins? Probably, but that's because I'm an optimistic fan. David, thank you very much for joining us, mate, at last minute.
Aye, thanks for having me on, mate. Good to be here.
Definitely, thanks everyone for tuning in. We are back tomorrow. Jackie McNamara with us. We'll be having a chat about an interesting topic. I'm not going to give too much away, other than saying it revolves around youth players and the Celtic Youth Academy. Until next time, take care and hail hail.